Recently, there's been a lot of talk and the Canadian Public Service providers, agencies regarding harassment in the workplace, as well as a lot of talk about whistleblowers. And my concern is that early intervention, targeted intervention against single individual public service providers by managers with the idea of acting quickly and also with visible consequences for the person accused of harassment, that it is quite possible that managers may use the new invigorated kind of enthusiastic efforts to root out, as we were told by the clerk of the Privy Council, Michael Wernick, that efforts to be made to root out these single individuals. So, and as far as I can see, is that it might be used by managers to get rid of whistleblowers very easily. And that once the whistleblower is out, like fired, booted out, that's it. That's the end. You do not, as an employee, have fair hearings. All of that can be removed. And the public service then can promote the people who um, are compliant and conformist to whatever measures are being brought down from the top down, the deputy ministers to the employees, and you can get rid of the employees who are having to deal with some of the very real problems that can occur when you have top down imposition of policies. So what I've done is I've written a letter to Michael Wernick regarding his document, Safe Workplaces, which can be found online. Its full title is Safe Workplaces: Starting a Dialogue and Taking Action on Harassment in the Public Service. Online, dated August 22nd, 2018. So I've written Mr. Wernick a letter. And here's how it goes. Mr. Wernick, thank you for your interest in safe workplaces. While you express urgency and precautions, including supporting managers targeting single individual public servants accused of harassment with visible consequences, there is a real-life scenario that, it appears to me, is not addressed. Could you please describe how the following example of a real-life situation would be addressed, referring to your safe workplace efforts? As follows. After a public service employee of 4 years raises concerns about substandard work and suggests possible solutions as per their job description, the manager, in this case of 1.5 years, accuses the employee of making co-workers fear for their safety. The employee is fired, having been denied mediation, resolution, and arbitration. Years after being fired for insubordination, the employee discovers evidence in a federal government official report that while the manager was targeting the employee, the manager gave false information to federal government officials regarding a study into Canada's equalization payments program, which is a multi-billion annually, a multi-billion dollar program. So to continue, the employee was in a government position to discover the manager's false reporting to the federal officials. The manager and the employee had worked for an official statistical agency, therefore had taken an oath to uphold the Statistics Act that states in Section 31, quote, everyone is guilty of an offense who, Part B, knowingly gives false and misleading information or practices any other deception under this act. Unquote. Letters to provincial and federal officials describing the false reporting continue to be sent to ensure public service providers and citizens are aware. Mr. Wernick, As mentioned, could you please describe how this situation would be addressed referring to your workplace, safe workplaces efforts? From my point of view, the employee would not have become a target for removal if steps to safeguard the integrity of statistical agencies' analytic products were implemented and/or adhered to. Statistical methods would have been adhered to rather than non-statistical methods. Also, the deputy minister should not have restricted the job posting, ensuring no one else could get the manager's position. At the meeting with HR, Human Resources, where the employee asked for workplace skills courses for the team, and then the manager became very angry and accused the employee of making coworkers fear for the safety, an investigation into the workings of the statistical office should have begun. An investigator should have sought out what programs, projects, products the statistical office had been involved in recently. The Equalization Payments Program study would have raised eyebrows. The investigator could have brought this up at meetings with the employee and with the co-workers and with the manager and the executive director and the deputy minister. This would have revealed the false reporting. Also, the, in quotes, force insubordination, unquote, term should not have been added to the dismissal by the deputy minister. In this manner, the employee would have had equal opportunity to seek employment without the burden of the deputy minister's determination that the employee was fired for insubordination. Why? Because, quote, men might as well be imprisoned as excluded from the means of earning their bread, unquote, by John Stuart Mills on Liberty, page 58. In closing, I say thank you for your emphasis on constructive solutions. I look forward to your response. William Warren Monroe, Population Projections Project for Canada Census Areas, advocate for verification and replication of information used to guide public services.